Welcome to the online classes from Dhaka Secondary School, North Karachi campus. Assalamu alaikum students of class 6 in the online class of social studies. We are studying chapter number 21, Islam first reaches the subcontinent, and I am your teacher, Miss Uzma. Topics of the day are the Gharis and the Sultanate of Delhi, Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia Sultana, Nasiruddin and Balban, and the last one is Alauddin Khilji. The Gharis and the Sultanate of Delhi. The small state of Ghor in what is now Afghanistan was ruled by two brothers. One invaded Central Asia while the other, Muhammad Ghori, invaded India. You can see the places of Ghor, which is just along with the Pakistan borders. Muhammad Ghori was a Muslim ruler who laid the foundation for the subcontinent Islamic ruling dynasties of India, which saw its pinnacle later in the Mughal Empire. He ruled a vast area comprising parts of modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Iran, Bangladesh, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, together with his elder brother Ghayasuddin Muhammad, which widely came to be known as the Ghurid Empire. Under Ghori's great general Qutbuddin Aibak, his army swept across northern India, bringing all the areas from Afghanistan to Bengal under his control. When Ghori was murdered in 1206, his army chose Qutbuddin Aibak to be the Sultan. He was the first Muslim ruler of all northern India, and this was the beginning of Delhi Sultanate. Qutbuddin Aibak started the construction of Qutb Minar to celebrate his victory. When Aibak died in 1210, he was followed by his son-in-law Iltutmish. Iltutmish had many problems defeating states which had seized the opportunity of change of ruler to try to become independent. Even more serious were the invasions by the Mughals from Central Asia under the dreaded Genghis Khan. Razia Sultana. After Iltutmish's death, none of his sons seemed capable of ruling, so his daughter Razia Sultana took control and ruled for 4 years. She was a strong ruler, personally leading her armies into battle, but the nobles and generals did not like being governed by a woman and murdered her. The first female Muslim ruler of South Asia, Razia Sultana, was a talented, wise, just, and generous woman. She was a great administrator, well-versed in governmental affairs, a good leader in the battlefield, and an excellent fighter. As the most capable son of Iltutmish died during his own life and the rest were incompetent to govern, Iltutmish nominated his daughter Razia Sultana as his successor on the throne of Delhi. Whenever Iltutmish had to leave his capital, he used to leave Razia Sultana as in charge. But when Iltutmish died, Rukn-ud-Din Feroz, one of his sons, occupied the throne and ruled for about 7 months. Razia Sultana, with the support of the people of Delhi, secured the throne after defeating her brother in 1236. Razia Sultana established complete law and order in her country. To rule the country, she abandoned her feminine and adopted a masculine get-up. She made an Ethiopian slave named Jalaluddin Yaqut her personal attendant and started trusting him the most. This changed the monopoly of power claimed by the Turkish nobles. The Turkish nobles resented having a woman as their ruler, especially when she started challenging their power. They began conspiring against her. In 1239, the Turkish governor of Lahore rebelled against Razia Sultana. However, when she marched against him, he first fled and then apologized. Then the governor of Bathinda revolted. When Razia Sultana was trying to suppress the rebellion in Bathinda, her own Turkish officers deposed her from the throne of Delhi and made her brother Bahram the Sultan. Razia Sultana married the governor of Bathinda, Malik al-Thunia, and his helped try to reoccupy the throne. She was defeated by the Turkish nobles and was compelled to flee away. A peasant who had offered her food and shelter while fleeing from an encounter killed her in her sleep. She died in 1240. These are the places of Qutbuddin and Al-Tutamish in which they ruled over. You can see they are half of Pakistan and half in India nowadays. Nasiruddin. In 1246, a group of noblemen made Nasiruddin al-Tutumish's grandson emperor, but the real power was in the hands of his chief general Balban. Balban controlled the empire for 20 years on behalf of his master, and when Nasiruddin died, the noblemen made him emperor. Balban also had a feud of the Mughals' invasions. Alauddin Khilji. When Nasiruddin died in 1296, he was followed by a number of weak emperors until Alauddin Khilji came to the throne. Alauddin Khilji proved to be a capable and good leader. He set up systems for good governance. As a soldier, he was even more successful in driving out the Mughals and conquering much of the southern India. The questions are in front of you. Thank you so much.